folks, it's Des Catties. Come out again today, up to my little spot. Shelter's still here, so that's a bonus, isn't it? So stay tuned for a little bit of this, a little bit of that as well, and yeah. Well, it's still here, but there is a little but. Chink in the works, look, it's split a bit. It got a bit gusty here in the week, so whether or not that had an effect on it, maybe. Well, what I'm going to do, I've had a few little thoughts about it, and obviously I want to keep that tarp here, you know, just for somewhere for me to come local. I haven't got to keep mucking around setting up shelters and that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it into a plough point. It's got quite open sides. If I can obviously keep that there for the winter, that's going to give me a little bit more protection, and I don't want to sort of start putting too much effort into it, because it does. I still have concerns about, not that it appears to be at the moment, but we have had it I've had it in the past where I've made little things and people have come up and whoever and smashed them and destroyed them and all the rest of it. So, you know, I've got to think about it, you know, sort of like. Anyway, so I'm babbling on needlessly. Let's get on with it, eh? So I'll set it up into a plough point. This thing has definitely got a chink in its armour. I've got another split there now when I set it up. When I made this, it's made out of Egyptian cotton. Now whether or not the material just isn't strong enough or whatever, obviously I don't think it is. But I am going to just leave it up out here now. It is what it is. If it gets torn down,
I know where to get it if you want it.
And then fair enough. If not, then I ain't lost anything. You know, it's somewhere I can come out. I'll still carry a spare shelter anyway. But I'm going to set up now. I'm going to get a brew on, and I've also got me Frontier stove. I don't really know why, because I'm sweating my arse off already. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my videos. Join the madhouse. Thank you. So as you can see with mine, I don't know if the video actually picks it up, but I've cut my legs down on mine because it goes inside my TP. I always felt like that on these, the legs are too long, they spread out too far, and it sits too high as well. So once you get this cold sort of level down here, then all of a sudden it goes to heat. So what I did was mine was cut the legs down. It's raining out. I'm cosy anyway. I wouldn't have needed this. I've only really bought it for effect. And I want to make some. Obviously, I'm going to cook myself some brunch. Have a brew first. It'll probably take me about 2 hours to get a brew out of it, because it did take a little while to get the wood going, because everything's quite wet at the moment. But yeah, I want to make some punky dope as well. Some Nestmuck punky dope. So I've bought all the ingredients, and I'll go through the process and obviously share it in the video. You know what, while I'm sitting under here now, and it is raining, it is dripping through. So you know what, after all that, I'm glad I didn't really put in that much effort to it really, but it is dripping through now. So we'll just put that down to a bit of bit of making one and hoping it was going to stay up and everything else, but the quality of it isn't that great. As I say, some of its droplets weeping through it. I mean, it's okay for today, but I wouldn't fancy kipping under it if I'm honest. Yeah. Remember the spoon, I remember the spoon. This one was gifted to me by a guy called Matt Tiny. This was one of his early spoons when he started getting into spoon carving, and lovely jobber it is too. And as you can see, it's used at home in the shed and stuff, but I thought that can live in my day kit now. Right, so for the punky doping, I'm stuck to sort of Nessmuck's recipe. So I've got some pine oil, which that's made myself. The other two items I've had to purchase. So the second one is pennyroyal. This is also an insect repellent on its own, and it smells bloody gorgeous. And then the final one is castor oil. So yeah, we'll see how we got on with that in a bit. And then I've got a little receptacle just to put it all in and keep it for those trying times. So how's it going then? So last weekend I had did my 50k ultra over the North Kent Downs. It's quite a good route actually. Thought I was really making good time actually. Felt strong, everything else. Done really well. I certainly kind of sort of hit that wall about 21.5 miles, and it took me about till 23 to flush it off, I must admit. But when you got to the last checkpoint, the last aid station, you then just had 10k to go to the finish, and everybody I spoke to, it was bloody horrendous. It was, I didn't realise that Kent could be so hilly. It was absolutely horrendous. There was a set of stairs that you had to go up. Honestly, these stairs looked like they were going to sort of like maybe going to go up to heaven, and then when you get to the top you had to dive off and go to hell because they were absolutely minging. I'll tell you what, they were as bad as Jacob's Ladder on the side of Penny Fan. It was shot. I couldn't believe it, and it was mental. Like actually talking to people at the end that you obviously, you know, people you meet on the way around on the actual event. Everyone said the same thing, not just about the stairs, it was just that last 10k was horrendous. I mean, it was undulating, it was up and down throughout, but that last 10k was horrendous. You're not horrendous, it was just, you know, you've already done, you know, quite a number of miles. The body's gone through quite a bit of abuse, and as I say, that last stretch was, I thought I had it proper in the bag. I thought I was going to knock it out in about just over 6 hours, and I ended up sticking about an hour on my time. I was gutted. I was, you know, gutted. I mean, it was still great. I mean, I wouldn't take that section of the route out because it was so well rewarding getting to the end. And your legs feel the way they do and everything else, but you know, my legs are fine now. You know, I've been training throughout the week and everything else, but yeah, no, it was good. So thanks for asking. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like and share my videos. Join the madhouse. Thank you. I'm getting breakfast on, or brunch. In there I've got my pine oil, and I'm just going to let that sort of simmer, hopefully melt it a little bit. So just put it in some water and just let that gradually heat up. Now, I do love a spatula. I've got a wooden spatula in my cooking kit, but I do love using these titanium tongs. They're absolutely excellent for doing things like bacon, and I've even used them as like a chopstick. They're just, I don't know, almost easier than using a spatula. I mean, also a spatula comes into place when you're cooking eggs and stuff like that, but for bacon it just makes it easy to flip over. That's certainly done a desired effect of softening it up, because it goes quite thick. So at least now I've got the pine oil nice and soft. Pine tar. So with Nessmuck's recipe for this punky dope, he didn't actually even come out with a name for it. It was his mate Gene or something like that that actually coined the repellent as punky dope. But Nessmuck obviously said that it was good stuff. You know, he wore it all the time when he was out, especially during the summer months and all the rest of it. So I thought what I'll do is I'll obviously make my own. There's a ton of videos on there. I haven't watched the videos. I'm just literally going to just make it myself and see how it comes out. Obviously I might not be able to use it at the moment because the weather's starting to change. But hey ho, we'll see how it goes. But for obviously you need is the pine oil, you need some castor oil, and you need some pennyroyal oil. Which this stuff smells really nice already. It's already an insect repellent on its own, and it's a real gorgeous smell. But what he did was he used 3 parts of pine oil, 2 parts of castor oil, and 1 part of pennyroyal oil. So what I've done is I've got a spoon out with me. I bought a titanium spoon out with me. Got a bowl. Once all the ingredients are in the bowl, then you just simmer it and mix it all together. What I had to do was, because the pine oil, the pine obviously gets a bit gloopy, so what I've done is I've kept it in this plastic tub. I had to put it in some water, which you probably would have seen earlier on in the video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use the same measurements. I mean, I don't know what he used. He just says 3 parts of this, 2 parts of that, and 1 part of the other. So we're just going to do exactly the same, but the measurements I'm going to use is this spoon. All right. Right. So 3 parts pine oil. 1, 2, got that, it's gloopy. Now we're straining it. There's more in the bottom, but it's still a bit gloopy where it's still a bit hard. Okay, so that's the pine. I mean, it smells gorgeous on its own. So I'm just going to leave that on the spoon. So 2 parts of castor oil, stick that in. I'm sure that'll come off the spoon once it starts to heat. And then the final one is this pennyroyal. It looks like all that's melted together quite nice. It's just gone to a liquid form. So I've dispensed it into my little container, little plastic container. I mean, obviously I haven't got the liquid hot, so it's not going to melt the plastic. It's absolutely such a lovely smell. I mean, the consistency, I'm hoping that it stays more runny. I mean, judging by what, you know, sort of Nessmuck says about it. I mean, he wore this stuff at one point for 7 weeks. Had a change of clothing. Didn't even bother to change his clothes in 7 weeks. And this stuff was absolutely wonderful, not only for keeping the insects and that away, but it was also good for keeping the skin nice as well, which I kind of take his word for that one. Just sitting it down there now, letting it totally cool down. and then I'll obviously put the lid on. I want to see the consistency of it. One thing I want to see about it, that it has got a nice sort of, you know, nice liquidy consistency, as it were. But yeah, it's kind of simple as that. I suppose if you want to go and watch some other YouTube videos, go and do it, or use your Google food skills. But I'm sure it couldn't have been as complicated as that, really. I suppose it's just the ingredients that you used. So I've got plenty of it now, so if it works, then obviously I'm going to just make myself up some more for personal use, or maybe just give some out to mates and that. So it has cooled down, and the consistency looks like it's quite runny still, so obviously it makes sense really, because obviously you want to, you know, massage it all over your exposed parts of your body. It hasn't got a bad smell. I mean, the pine is obviously a little bit more overpowering than the other two, but the smell that lingered around here when I was obviously mixing it up, it's unbelievable, especially that penny royal. It's a gorgeous smell. So yeah, I'm impressed with that. So obviously the making of it was very easy. The next thing will obviously be massaging it onto my skin, not having a wash for 7 weeks, and then going home and seeing Mrs. C and seeing what she makes of it all, eh? Well, I'm all packed up now, ready to go home. Only come out for the day really. I hope you enjoyed that one. Obviously just doing a bit of brunch, making me punked open, and I was just chilling out really. Looks like the sun's coming out now. Going home anyway. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave your comments. Check out the description if you want to have a go at that recipe, or as I say, there's hundreds of other videos if you want to go and check it out. It's not that hard. And I'll see you on the next one. Alright, so take care folks.